I was 12 when I first watched Blade Runner in the Topanga Theater in my hometown of Los Angeles. It turned out to be a lifelong love and fascination, and I remember my friends and I would emulate characters and scenes based on the movie. It remained for me one of the best examples science fiction has to offer, which 30 years advancement in special effects did not improve upon, nor likely will.
Not yet. Not.
I never dreamed that 30 years later I would discover the actors in Blade Runner were not even human, but reptilian, shape-shifting beasts the Bible calls serpents and dragons, and are widely known today as reptilians, or reptoids. Some people watching this will refuse to see the evidence or check it out for themselves, and in denial of the truth of the devils they worship and the false reality they cling to, assume I have gone crazy, or my Christian faith made me sour toward all movies. But in fact, for 20 years believing, I did not consider movies inherently evil, and certainly not Blade Runner, my fond childhood memory. In my casual observance of UFOs on YouTube, I happened upon the reptilian subject, and when I realized that proof of aliens could be obtained from movies and even daily television, how could I resist investigation, especially with the evidence so readily available? Apart from the coolness of finding out there are aliens from outer space walking among us, I found the news is actually bitter and frightening. The witnesses of reptilians enslaving, torturing, raping, and eating humans matches the outrageous cover-up of all governments hiding that space is filled with sentient life, many of which aliens come here but are prevented from making contact with the general public. The Aztec UFO being shot down by American energy beams tells me the Earth is under tight guard to keep any visitors out who might make contact and open the belief system of humans. I think these reptilians are well aware of what is out there and they don't care about them, but they do care about keeping their human cattle ranch under control, so they cannot have aliens coming and telling us we are slave, food, rape dolls for an elder race of reptilians and their beast allies, and most of the civilized universe is not trapped in a wall-less prison of slavery just to keep a roof over their heads. This, I believe, what you are looking at now, is the real answer to why the public is kept in the dark concerning extraterrestrial life. A common question, and one I still have, is, if this shape-shifting is real, and their human body is some kind of hologram, how come they get hurt and age like real humans? According to former Illuminati witness Arizona Wilder, the shape-shifting from human to reptilian form is a solid-to-solid transformation, which, according to her account of a blood-drinking ceremony where these beings transform into their reptilian form, they wear robes because their reptilian body is larger than their human body, even 7 feet tall or more. It is mysterious, then, why they also seem to have human frailties, even disease, such as Angelina Jolie having her breasts removed. But all of this may in fact be a deception. My current thinking is that the human body might be real, but because their spirit body is reptilian, or they are hybrids with mixed DNA, the result is a fluctuating form, as depicted in vampire movies. In the case of Harrison Ford, similar to Keanu Reeves, you see what looks like not only demon features of facial spikes, fangs, and claws, but there appears a demonic expression in the face, like an angry psychotic madness. Harrison's face in this bath scene looks like a grinning demon with its tongue sticking out and eyes wide with madness. Could this be what people get turned into when they follow hedonistic desire rather than godliness? You can clearly see the spikes sticking out of his face, resembling the reptilian features of a horny toad or horned viper. The classic depiction of a devil with two horns might be based on actual features of the reptilian race. Some have speculated that what we are seeing are demon-possessed humans, with demons being disembodied reptilians. This might explain some instances of the vertical slit pupils we now see on people on television, but I would hold to the importance of recognizing them as a living race, and they, like all creatures, have a battle and motivation to survive. So what are we looking at here? Couldn't these shapes be caused by motion blur or simple film artifacts? No. If you have a blur or deresolution or other anomaly, there is a possibility of a video or film error. But when you have distinct shapes with enough light, shadow, and focus to determine a specific shape, such as facial spikes on Harrison or curved talons on Keanu Reeves, this eliminates the possibility of video error being the culprit. In the case of Harrison Ford in this bath scene, there are not only multiple facial spikes, featuring a broad base, curvature, and sharp point on the end, but there is a defined pattern or row of those spikes which no video error of any kind could cause. If you disagree, why not make a video and compare results to these images and ask people to vote if it is the same thing or not? If then the possibility of video error as the cause of these shapes has been eliminated, and we know there are no morphing spike-faced demon reptiles in the Blade Runner script, neither did they have 3D special effects back then, and if they did, they would not hide it for no one to notice the extensive work required to create these shapes on his face. Neither would it take place in single frame changes too quick for anyone to notice. There remains but one possibility, and that is that the actor Harrison Ford himself must be the cause of these anomalous shapes. People tend not to see things they have not seen or believed before, especially if such new information is contrary to a personal belief system. This effect of not seeing is even more pronounced if the news is negative about someone famous they believed in or had positive association with. And who hasn't thought of Harrison Ford as the quintessential good guy? I get a fair number of people who make angry comments about the reptilian shapeshifter videos I have uploaded. This anger is called denial, evident by the fact that not a single person to date has challenged me with any rational argument or logical videos showing that any effect I have highlighted is not shape-shifting. I would point out that God has told us in His Word that no other creature besides these reptile people are superior deceivers, and these serpents are well aware of human nature. What we think of as only entertainment, I now see is likely not without a more serious purpose. In regard to the angry denial reactions to this shocking revelation, one might derive they use entertainment products which we pay to use to influence humans subconsciously to idolize and adore the reptilians, which race is symbolized by dragon or serpent images. Notice that in the case of Blade Runner, they go out of their way to show the dragon symbol throughout the movie.
And they need the blood because they are, in fact, not human. They take human shape. They are reptilians. And they need the blood. The blood helps them maintain their reptilian shape, and it helps them maintain their sanity, and it helps them to live in this world because they are not from this world.
Does that relate to what the Nazis call vril power and what the Hindus call the serpent power in the blood?
Yes, the blood has something. It has something in it. It has secretions from the pituitary gland and from the pineal gland, and it has a very strong drug in it that they also, I mean, this is the one that keeps them from going crazy, and it's like heroin or like endorphins, and it's much stronger. But what they need is, for it to be secreted in the blood, is they need terrorization of their victims before they are killed for their blood, or if a young woman is beginning to menstruate, they need the menstrual blood, and they have to terrorize them to get this to come out in the blood and be secreted in the blood.
Is this the what other people have told me about, that at the point of great terror, like the point of sacrifice, there's an adrenaline that enters the bloodstream? Is this what they're looking for?
Yes, that and this other element comes and secretes out through the blood. This all comes out through the blood at that time, and it's at that point they are actually staring into the eyes of the head of at some of these rituals, or at a reptilian. They are staring into the eyes of this person, and they're held. It's a hypnotic gaze these reptilians have, and it holds the victim in an absolute trance, in a trance of terror, and then they are killed at that moment as they are staring into their eyes. And not only do they can't hold their shape when this happens. The
human shape.
The human shape they cannot hold. They go back into reptilian shape.
When I found alien shapeshifters and started analyzing the footage, I realized over time a likelihood that most major movie and television stars were not human. They appear to be either reptilian, possessed by reptilian spirits called demons or devils, other beast types like felines, canines, and arachnids, or clones of the original human they can control. In fact, I do not think one can enter the entertainment media business without selling one's soul, which gives them the right to supplant you with a reptilian spirit or clone you. If you are seeing this for the first time, or trying to wrap your head around this shocking discovery, know that I as well am left bewildered and disturbed that I have lived my whole life up until now ignorant I was watching these people I thought were human. The fact is, I have to throw out my entire version of reality, because a logical analysis of the prevalence of these non-humans in entertainment and news media concludes it cannot be just these sectors of the economy that are under these aliens' control. The ease with which proof of non-humans can be obtained with simple video analysis, combined with how big and shocking the revelation would be to the public once it got out, derives two important conclusions. Given that all it takes to discover this is someone pausing a movie during shapeshifting and noticing it, or a fan of the movie doing a frame-by-frame analysis and discovering it, means the likelihood that more than chance is at play in why this shocking reality has not burst into public knowledge. Consider all the movie fans who might want to analyze special effects or action scenes, yet no one has noticed this, and it is rather easy to see once aware. Although it is easy to miss, and I probably would never have noticed it unless I saw movies about it on YouTube, still the sheer number of people poring over these movies goes against the chances more people would not have discovered it. Further, if you combine this with the statistically massive number of people continually fascinated by paranormal subjects, such as the hugely popular The X-Files and space alien movies such as E.T. and Avatar, breaking all-time box office sales records, derives the conclusion that something more is preventing people from realizing the truth of these aliens. There is no doubt to me now that the Serpent Empire keeps close watch on the human cattle and quickly targets anyone exposing them for intimidation or death. However, it is important to realize that more than this keeps a lid on the people waking up. I will add to previous speculation, the alien beasts, led by the reptilians, use a cradle-to-grave form of human thought control via education, media, social structure, sound, as with low-vibration internal combustion engines, and low-bass stereo speakers, and then poison vaccines, food, water, air, and now radio waves from your cell phone and computer. All of which combine with such tools as remote viewers and psychics in dedicated war rooms to see into your bedroom, and indeed, as I have experienced, into your very mind, in addition to time travel to identify any significant enemies and strategize against them, makes for powerful and effective control of humans. The knowledge of this, however, is both dangerous and ineffective without the broader picture of what is happening. I will tell every person who can hear my voice, if you do not realize there is an even more powerful source of mind and time control than these alien beasts, you will only destroy yourself and not be effective in changing the status of Earth, as all the people in the truth movement so far prove. Has the government, or news, or laws, or freedom changed in any major way? That higher control is of course God, who himself made these evil beasts, and views that which is happening now as past events. Do not be misled by all the stupid and rebellious New Age gurus, healers, lightworkers, historians, scientists, lecturers, radio show hosts, or YouTube uploaders, etc., who turn to every source except the authorized King James Bible, or make you think it is anything but God's perfect and whole words, which he sent via the prophets and scribes of the Jews for all men to hear and know he who created earth, and tells the beginning to the end with perfect accuracy. Every soul, both man and beast, believing and unbelieving, know exactly which are God's words, and will have decided well or poorly regarding them. Man or beast, Jew or Gentile, share the common desire to feel good and have a happy life, and each ultimately and wholly makes their life's effort to that end. But the question becomes, what is the wisest path to succeed and avoid failure? Every creature on earth will have heard the words of their Creator, and therewith know our actions, while living, have everlasting results. Every creature will have heard that through the work of Jesus Christ, every soul accepting him might receive life without pain, sorrow, or end, and every soul rejecting him will be sealed in hell forever, where there is nothing but pain, sorrow, and death. But strength of mind was not the decider of how creatures would make this obvious choice if they knew, but rather that thing less definable, the heart. Who would find in their heart a despise unspoken, nor provable of the wickedness of this world, and thereby, though confounded, refuse to serve them? And who would go on laughing and playing and striving in Satan's kingdom, never realizing the truth of who and what their money is wrought for?